Hello, everyone, and welcome to STENO 24/7, a court reporting dictation channel. Today, I am doing, of course, State of Wisconsin versus Stephen Avery, and we left off with the court speaking. Ready? Just going to find my spot here where we left off with him speaking. Let's see. The court. The other item about during the victim's lifetime, I think I covered in the initial instructions. Again, and I'm confident that 6 weeks from now, the jury will have forgotten any subtle distinction that may have taken place in the opening. But I will repeat the presumption of innocence instruction without giving any specific reason why. Attorney Strong, no, the court, because I doubt that the jury caught the significance of it. But it was technically incorrect. Attorney Strong, right. And it was unintended, and there doesn't have to be a big deal made about this. The court, all right. Anything else before we break? Attorney Kratz, no. That's fine, Judge. Thank you. Noon recess taken. The court, members of the jury. A question came up during break concerning the definition of presumption of innocence. So I'm going to read that excerpt to you again at this time from the opening instructions I gave you earlier. Then we'll hear the opening statement from the defense. Defendants are not required to prove their innocence. The law presumes every person charged with the commission of an offense to be innocent. This presumption requires a finding of not guilty unless in your deliberations you find it is overcome by evidence which satisfies you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty. Mr. Strong, at this time you may begin. Attorney Strong, thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. This summer it will be 22 years. 22 years since a woman running on the beach in Manitowoc was raped and beaten nearly to death. The Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department investigated those awful crimes, and they charged Stephen Avery with rape and attempted murder on that Manitowoc beach 22 summers ago. He said consistently that he was innocent, that he had not done it. No one believed him. No one but his own family believed him. And as that case was making its way through the Manitowoc County Circuit Court, just one county over, Teresa Marie Halbach was 5 and was starting kindergarten. Somewhere else, somewhere we don't know, a man named Gregory Allen presumably was laughing and planning his next violent rape. 11 years later, in 1996, Stephen Avery was trying, still, to make people understand that he was innocent. DNA testing was in its infancy. It was beginning to move into courtrooms, out of scientific laboratories. But we have come a long way. Just a few years since 1996, and it was not as advanced as it is today. But in 1996, Stephen Avery took a chance and had blood drawn, a little vial of blood. It was sent off, through the help of his lawyers, for early DNA testing. It couldn't clear him entirely. It helped, but it did not conclusively prove Stephen Avery's innocence of the attempted murder and rape on the Manitowoc beach. And when the test failed to prove him entirely innocent, that blood was sent back in a box sealed with evidence tape to the Manitowoc County Clerk of Court. And there, in 1996, that blood vial, sealed in the box with evidence tape, took up residence in the now 11-year-old file of the 1985 case, in a box, in the open, in the Manitowoc County Clerk of Court's office, and there it sat. And in 1996, just a few miles north of here, Teresa Marie Halbach was learning to drive at age 16, I assume. And the irony, could you hear me before? Can you hear me now? The court, we can hear you better now. Attorney Strong, all right. Is it the Verizon guy who says that? Teresa was learning to drive, I assume, at age 16. And the irony is that the blood vial in the clerk's office probably is what ends up in her car, eventually. And time moves forward through to 2002. Science also has moved forward. DNA testing has improved, and a new effort is made to exonerate Stephen Avery. Now the blood in the vial, in the box, under the evidence tape, in the clerk's office is not, you will learn, what is used for the 2002 and 2003 DNA testing. But some materials from that box, that file, the overall file from the 1985 case, some are sent to the Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory in Madison, to Sherry Colhane, to whom Mr. Kratz introduced you to. And the person from the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department involved. Lo, these many years later, the department was but a person from the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department who documented the things that were sent from the old court file to the crime laboratory, and therefore, presumably, looked at the box and assisted in deciding what to send. That person was, by that time, a lieutenant or a detective, now a lieutenant named James Link. and that is 10 minutes of dictation. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you at the next video. Number 24 coming up next.